Here are the scales we're currently working on. We have the D major and minor scale, which look like this. That's D major, and the notes are D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D. Now for the minor scale, we don't have F sharp, we're going to have F. Same position, instead of the pinky it's the second finger. Same thing up here, instead of B natural we have B flat, which is same position, middle finger. Now when we come up here, we played the C sharp to D in the D major scale. In the D minor scale it's going to be C to D. So same positions, but we're using our second finger instead of our third finger and fourth finger. So I'll play through the minor scale now. This should be part of your warm-up and your practice, going through both scales, being able to say the notes in them. D minor, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D. D major, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. So there are some differences. The sounds are different. Being able to play both of those scales is important. The other one we're working on is the G scale, and this one we can actually do in 2 octaves. And I'll start with just a lower octave, major and minor. So for this scale we start on G, middle finger on the E string. All of this is in first position. When we have our first finger on the first tape and our pinky on the second tape, this is called first position. And in this hand position, in my fingers, I have 3 notes possible for each string, also counting the open string. So we have open, 1, 2, 4. So I guess 4 per string if you count the open string. So for the G major scale, first position, second finger, I'll play through it just 1 octave. That's a 1 octave G major scale. Now for the minor scale, there are some different shifts that we have to do. We're going to be in what's called half position. So first position is sort of on these tapes. Half position, your middle finger is now on the first tape. Your first finger is sort of here between the first tape and the nut, and this is the first note, first pitch that is available fingered on the instrument. So we're going to start with our pinky on G this time, because G doesn't move. G's in the same place, but instead of being in first position, we're in half position. So we still have to play this pitch, but we're in this position. So the notes of the G major scale, before I forget, we've got G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. So now I'll play through the minor scale, starting with my pinky. The G minor scale is a little bit easier in a way, and you're going pinky, open, 1, pinky, open, 1, pinky, open. It's a pattern all the way up. And the notes of the minor scale, G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, F natural, and G. So minor scale versus major scale. Both of these scales should be under your fingers. And then the second octave of the G scale we can work on a different time, but I'll play just the G major second octave. So it starts on this open G string, and if you were coming from the low octave, you would just keep going up. So it's basically those notes, just like those pitches, just like the low octave are the same. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. And then this is high G. And I just sort of shifted up to my third finger, but there's a couple of different ways we can do this. When you reach this part of the bass, we get into what's called thumb position. Thumb position introduces the thumb as a finger and gets rid of the pinky. So when you're playing up in thumb position, it kind of looks like this. And the thumb kind of becomes like an anchor. So the way I like to play the upper octave of the G scale is to bring my thumb around to play high G. And it kind of gets me used to the possibilities of using the thumb. You can also, at this point, play what's called a harmonic, where your thumb just barely touches and you get the pitch. So you can do that with the thumb too, because sometimes it'll hurt when you first start experimenting with that thumb position. Another thing to note is when you get to this part of the instrument, up to this point, we use 1, 2, and 4. We don't use our third finger. The double bass is just too large of a scale to comfortably be able to play one pitch per finger as you would on a cello or a guitar. So we go 1, 2, 4. And the third finger basically just accompanies the pinky when it needs to, play a pitch. When you get to this position, the scale is almost like a cello or a guitar. You can utilize your third finger. You can, there's sort of this little nebulous area where you can utilize 1, 2, 3, and 4 before you get into thumb position, and then the pinky becomes useless up here. So you've got your 1, 3, 4, you've got your little transition area, and then you've got your thumb position. That's basically it. So D major, minor, G major and minor, be able to play both scales and say the pitches in both scales.